Listen, guys, I got to blow through this podcast. I'm real busy writing a bunch of mini reviews for Letterboxd, okay? I got things cooking. I got some irons in the fire.
We got him!
You got him.
I'm on Serialized now. Find me on both platforms, /eJiggle.
I love
I gotta
this.
tell you, and I know this is like literally the opposite of Nick. I get so giddy when I'm able to transfer a fucking paltry Google Sheet to a fully fledged app, a web app. I love it. I'm like, oh my God, all these systems I couldn't have concocted in a million years. And there's posters for everything. Look how pretty it is.
You can pick alternate poster art. You can have whatever poster art you want.
That's very important to me. I rely on it.
EJ, you're going to be happy until suddenly you're like, wait, where's my review for such and such movie? Why'd the database get tweaked? Just like it happens with your game collection app or whichever one you're on. Your vinyl collections, your Discogs.
You always got to take a picture of your collection before you log them. And you always got to write the review in the Google Drive before you copy and paste it to Letterboxd, just so you have a backup.
All right, let's see what my man's...
You sick fuck.
Oh, there is nothing micro about these. Jesus Christ, EJ.
It's 2 paragraphs.
I've seen your graphs. Your graphs have graphs.
Yeah, it's totally... I mean, Ex Machina got long. Looper is getting a little long. I haven't posted that yet.
Oh my God.
But it's just my musings.
I will be meme reviewing all of these. They will all be one-line meme reviews.
I hate that. That's the whole shtick. And you go to the front page, you see all the reviews for it. It's all just fucking a lame quote or a looper like, oh, would you kill baby Hitler? It's like, that's not funny. Congratulations. You thought of the same thing that everyone else thought of. I want to read opinions about films.
But you gotta be able to decipher the meme. For example, I could write 2 paragraphs about long legs, but it would be the exact same thing as me saying, we have Twin Peaks at home, that it is supernatural and spooky and a good detective procedural. But does not rise to the same level of like coherence or overall production value that does as a series.
Infinitely more interesting to hear that instead of a fucking the same joke everyone else has already made.
Every movie review from EJ is just, this would have been better as a short series.
My Dune review literally opens with, it's a little bit of an enigma to me, both as a film property that exists in a post-Game of Thrones world, ... I
don't know.
Try to keep it on topic today. Talk about games today.
You will try, old friend.
All right, Sir Alec Guinness.
One time when I was like 7, I checked the mail and there was one of those like mass mail like advertisements for like Men's Warehouse or something. And there was an old gray man who looked exactly like Alec Guinness. And I was like, Mom, Obi-Wan Kenobi is on this advertisement in the mail. And she said, that isn't true because he's dead. And I was like, Obi-Wan Kenobi is dead? What?
Well, yeah.
I was heartbroken.
Spoilers. Anyway, let's stick to games, EJ.
All right, so PlayStation 2, Star Wars 3, Revenge of the Sith.
I played the DS Revenge of the Sith that had different like lightsaber stance combat things and a surprisingly interesting 3D arena fighter with the different ships that you could play multiplayer locally with other people on the DS.
I was looking at that game recently because I watched a YouTube video and this man unironically loved that game and said this is the best version of Revenge of the Sith. And I said, PlayStation 2 would beg to differ. And then I watched his video and I said, this looks like a good game.
Good fucking game.
The GBA and DS games were well regarded, even in the time.
Hello there.
Console Crusade, well regarded even in their time.
Hardly even regarded.
That remains to be seen.
Someone regards us?
Senpai, please regard me.
Solo.to/Console Crusade. You can join our Discord. I reside there with my 2 co-hosts and 26 of our closest friends.
Endless regardments in the Discord. You are absolutely correct.
What are we doing today, boys? I'm EJ Olson. This is Nick Durheim.
Hello.
This is Chris Gilly 4.
72 hours. 72 hours.
No, less than that.
Slightly.
So you're leaving at noon?
Yeah, I guess 68.
Yeah.
67.375. 3/4.
Repeating, of course.
Repeating.
Infinite time hack?
Yeah, nope, not making that joke on record. Yep.
God hates this one simple trick. What are we doing today?
Well, we've been playing some games, and I've got a new segment of one of our favorite Console Crusade game shows, and we may be doing some honorable mentioning, but I don't know, because I don't know if you guys have honorable mention games ready for any non-Nintendo consoles.
Oh, I can make it happen. That's the easy part. I haven't been playing anything new since we last talked. I have played Warzone sometimes, and that's it. So I got nothing on that front. Chris, you gonna go home soon? Hopefully your internet will be back to normal and we can gaze upon you in 60 frames per second.
Oh yeah, maybe like 45, 50. But
double digits at least.
When we moved into the new apartment in May, I upgraded our internet, and I think we only recorded one podcast on that before I left, so it should be good. But yeah, I'm going home soon. It's great. I miss my cats. I miss being in my own home and my own bed. I've got a bunch of fucking packages of things that I've bought for myself over the summer that are waiting for me. I'm just ready. I'm fucking ready, man. My semester prep is ready to go. I'm so on top of my shit for the first time as a full-time instructor. I just gotta get back and do a little bit of lesson planning and I'll be ready to rock. But it's time to be home. It's past time to be home, frankly.
Been time to be home for 2 months now.
Fully porked for KY.
Yep.
Very good, very good. Nick, what's new with you, man?
Not a whole lot. Just woiking, doing the damn thing.
Did you replace your fridge?
No, the technician's coming out next week. So we've been without an upstairs refrigerator for about a week now, actually.
Oh!
But turns out there was a class action lawsuit in 2020 on our specific line of fridges, apparently. We didn't qualify because our compressor wasn't out, but now it is. But because of that class action lawsuit, they extended the warranty on everybody who did own that fridge. So we're getting a free compressor. So we're just paying for the technician to come out and install it.
Is your fridge 7 years old?
Yeah.
Every person I know who's bought a fridge in the last 20 years, it has died at 7 years old. My grandma's been through 3 fridges, 7 years on the fucking dot. My parents, boom, 7 years on the fucking dot. It's crazy.
We still have our old fridge and it's living in the garage. So thank God for that because we could actually put stuff in there. But it got replaced because it's got problems. It does not work well as a refrigerator because it keeps freezing stuff inside the refrigerator. There's like something wrong with like the physical attributes of the compartments that causes the cold parts from the freezer to get too cold in the rest of the refrigerator. So it's working. It's a good standby option, but I mean, we're not like living out of a cabinet, we're not living pantry to mouth. So that's nice, but because I don't know what I would do without being able to put like leftovers in the fridge, like that is a vital part of my day to day.
You eat them all, Nick. You gorge yourself like a Skarsgård, okay? You just fucking do the thing. Dune reference for my friend Chris.
I put big plate and then I do not finish plate and then I put rest of plate into fridge.
My uncle's a retired refrigerant technician, refrigerator technician, compressor
He is a refrigerator.
but he did like industrial stuff. But he tells me, man, he said, listen, they don't make things like they used to. They just...
Hell no, they don't.
My grandma, literally, her basement fridge is from 1950. Retro as hell.
Live us all.
It's a tank. It's like there's only the compressor. It's all it needs is a compressor. That's all it has. No bells, no whistles.
It's made from pre-war steel, and it's the refrigerants. Everything in it can give you cancer, but it will never deteriorate.
You know how many children have been locked in that thing?
It's just lead and asbestos and children's bones.
No, they all got out, thankfully.
No,
this is a post-lock refrigerator.
Yeah,
that's
not fun.
Yeah.
How do you keep the children in?
Oh God. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. Everything is built to be disposable these days, which makes it a wonder why we collect physical cartridges for games that we have to download anyway.
Yeah, not to mention the consoles that play them aren't going to last for very long either. I am thinking about buying a new battery for my Switch because it literally lasts 20 minutes before it says, hey, you need to charge me.
Oh.
And I don't know if that's like a It's just the battery's bunk. It's just not putting out the right voltage, so it's just thinking that it's dead, but it's probably not. But these dang smart batteries are too smart to not know to shut the fuck up. Keep it on the DL. Just work the way you can. All I want is like a red light indicator that tells me when the battery's getting low. Game Boy Color style.
Right. How does the Switch handle like constantly being on the dock? Does it shut off the trickle charge, or is it just constantly at 100%? Because
I think it's constantly at 100%, but that's the 100% in a lithium battery is not true 100% in a lithium battery because the devices are smarter than that. They don't fully charge to 4.2. They charge to like 3.8, 3.9. And they just keep it at like a good nominal charge as their 100%. It's the same thing that iPhones and every smartphone does since 2010. But it reduces your battery life, so darn those smart companies.
Yeah, dude, I upgraded my phone this year because my battery on my old phone is terrible. And it was barely 2 years old, and my battery health was like down to like 79% or something. And I'm like, this is untenable. I used to go 2 days on a charge, can't even make it through a day now. And I just bought a whole new phone. But dude, that shit charges so fast. Like it sits on your nightstand, it's charged in half an hour, but it stays fully charged all night. It's wreaking havoc on my battery, but I'm asleep. I could take it off the charger, but I'm knocked out. I'm unconscious.
What do you want from me?
Switch 2, it's what I want.
Will the Switch 2 have wireless charging technology?
Fuck no.
Why would it?
Because Nintendo's cheap. It has a plastic screen. Like, what do you mean we gotta have wireless charging tech? It's got a Ziploc baggie in front of the LCD, man.
I think my phone has a plastic screen. I can't tell.
That can't be true.
I don't know. I can't tell.
That can't be true. What phone do you have? Remember that old school LG one that had the like resistive fucking touchscreen on the front? And
Yeah, I have that shit. The Voyager?
Oh,
I do.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I went on many a voyage with that flippy boy.
Oh.
I had to dial with the inside keypad because the resistive touchscreen did not work
It's
at
horrible.
all.
It was terrible.
Never worked since the day I got it.
Cutting edge, baby. They were on the forefront. Well, when are we recording this? This is Thursday the 8th. This isn't coming out to what, the 14th or something?
Yep.
That sound right? Oh, by the time anybody hears this, I'll be coming back from vacation. I'm leaving for the coast. Vacation, quote unquote. Going to the coast, the same beach house I go with my family every year.
My man and the coast. Get you a person that looks at you like EJ looks at a coast vacation in Oregon. I swear
Looks
to
at
God,
Rockaway Beach on the map.
I swear to God, you're out there like 6, 7, 8 times a year, just like, yeah, go to the coast. Yeah, I'm going to the coast.
Go to the
Yeah, I
coast,
can't
man.
go to the coast this weekend.
Go to the coast. I ain't got to look a free fucking beach trip in the mouth, you know?
A free family beach trip? I'm looking that in the mouth. I'm inspecting
nothing's
the
free.
teeth. I'm looking at the tongue. I'm checking every inch of that mouth before I consent.
There will be a price to pay, and it's called John Olson. Shout out to my dad. The only extrovert in a family full of very introverted people.
Ooh.
I thought it was great that your brother hung out for more than like 30 seconds when we were over there for 4th of July.
Wasn't that nice?
That was a treat. That was a rare treat.
Dude, legs making an appearance. Yeah, I was pretty surprised, honestly. Always welcome. I mean, I hang out with Andrew every night, but he is not one for people. It is what it is. But I'm leaving tomorrow. Get a call from a client yesterday who's like, hey, Code Red, I need you on an editing project over the next 5 days. And I said, you have impeccable timing because I am leaving for the next 5 days. And he explained to me what he needed, and I was like, I'm just going to the coast. I'll have my laptop. I can make that happen for you because he's out of town. No big deal. Well, then I get 8 terabytes of footage across 2 drives today. And I find out what exactly he's asking of me, and I'm like, I cannot do this on my laptop. Fuck. So now I've
Bringing the tower?
I've already committed to ruining my vacation. I don't know. I did a deep dive on it today, and I talked to the other editors, and nobody else has a clue what I'm actually supposed to be doing. It's very vague. And the one person who can answer my questions is like MIA on vacation himself. So
Oh, good.
now I got to send an email backing out of a commitment being like, I'm sorry, this is more than I thought it was going to be, and I'm gone. I'll see you next week, or I will never see you again. You tell me.
It was nice being paid by you.
Nick, what have you been playing?
Let's see. Yeah, so I talked about Elden Ring last time, and after that, I transitioned over to Sea of Stars because I was feeling RPG-y. And Chris, you and I had kicked the idea around of both playing that game, which I don't think we'll do, probably because you got a full ass plate and you are on your own time, you're on your own schedule, doing your own thing. So that is fair.
I got my copy waiting for me in Kentucky. It got in shortly after the summer got started, so I can walk right into this game on Monday.
Sure, but I'll be done with it by then, so I'll be on to something else at that point, is what I'm saying.
It's that quick?
Well, I'm 14 hours in, and the How Long to Beat is like 28, so I feel like I'm pretty halfway through. I could be like a little bit less because of poking around and putting the controller down and doing other stuff time. But yeah, I don't know. I could see myself finishing it by this weekend, depending on how I choose to spend my time.
I could probably do it in 2 weeks. That's about the time EJ will remember we're doing KOTOR 2, so.
I will never forget.
And also never remember.
Don't bring me out to a vacation and then start playing it and remind me how little I want to replay the first 6 hours of the game. And it would be fine. We'll be fine. Guys, we haven't done our Fantasy Critic update. We really need to do that next week.
You
Yeah,
really do.
Go herd the cats. I don't know what those boys are up to. You're the only one that really talks to them the most.
I get random texts from Brandon about how he's either angry with Donald Trump or excited about not Joe Biden. And I appreciate those because it gives
Random thing.
It gives me happies that, I don't know, maybe we won't have to deal with Orange Man again.
You're just happy that Brandon's thinking about something that isn't a JRPG import.
I'm trying to decide if I could wring some kind of Kamala Harris joke that isn't racist out of that, and I don't think I can.
Ooh.
So I'm
Yeah.
not gonna touch that with a 10
You're not
football.
Republican enough for that. Chris, I'm
No,
sorry.
no, I am not. Not even fucking close. I'm like horseshoe effect. I don't know. I'm so far left. Maybe I'll like touch the opposite side on some things.
Omega male over here with the full horseshoe, God of War style.
Chris is Republican passing, okay?
Oh, that's the worst thing I've ever heard you say about Chris.
I'm very Aryan, so I guess that makes sense in the contemporary GOP.
There you go.
Yeah, that was the joke.
Oh, man. Let's not talk about politics. Brandon texts me about Fire Emblem every day.
And that is encouraging you or discouraging you from playing more?
I will say it is not encouraging me to pick up a 3DS.
Well, nothing could. Besides Awakening and like the hype ass like intro animation and like the thing that kicks off after the prologue. It's a great start to that game. And it goes quickly downhill for me. But for you, I'm sure you have great memories and you love everything that happens after that.
I said this probably on the last podcast, I think, but I said it to Brandon this week. Replaying Three Houses is illuminating some unfortunate truths about that game, despite me loving the story. And there are a lot of good things about that game. It remains a top 100 title. But, man, I would love to go back to Awakening. He's replaying it right now. And he's just like full hype on it, which good. It's a fucking good ass game. We just need a proper, loving remake, as we've brought up now for 3 or 4 episodes in a row. And then we'll get Nick and Chris to play it.
It'll happen. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. Look at the output of that dang company over the past 5 years and tell me they're not going to remake one of the most popular entries in the franchise that is trapped on the unfortunate 3DS.
Trapped.
Shackled, bound, imprisoned.
Imprisoned. So Sea of Stars, is it good?
Sea of Stars is a nice game. I don't know how it got so much praise when it came out. Like that was a solid like 83 plus game when it came out, correct? Like that's like a 85 on OpenCritic, some in that range.
It's an 89. Wow.
That is crazy to me. This is like a solid 75 of a game if I've ever played one. Like it's good. It's a really good game. But there's just not a lot there to intrigue, or like the enticement is just to play the game and to like keep playing the game. They haven't like added mechanically through the combat really anything in my 14 hours of playtime. I got a new character, but They're not very interesting either. The plot is just like very generic JRPG kind of plot. You know, it's like trying to lay out mysteries, I think, but it doesn't feel like they're executing that properly. But it's still like a good time. It's like I still appreciate the not the active time, but like the action input style combat. Like that's nice. I like to press the A button at the right time and be rewarded for it. That's always a good time. But it feels like someone tried to make one of those style of games, but they added too much like chaff on top of it. So there's like way too many stats for it to like be relevant. Like when I level up, it doesn't feel like a huge improvement to my abilities. And when I get new equipment, it doesn't feel impactful. I'm not making choices when I get new gear. It's very much of the era of like Mario RPG where it's a linear progression. You just get the better thing when you find the better thing, or you get to a new town and they're selling the better thing. So you're always getting a little bit stronger, but all of your opponents are as well. So it does these things where it's trying to be more approachable by not respawning enemies when you like walk out of a screen and you walk back. So in order to like respawn enemies, you basically have to die. But I don't know if that resets your experience gain or what. So it feels like I'm running into these battles where I'm losing because there's just nothing I can do. Like I cannot be better at the game. It's just I don't have enough HP. I guess I could just eat a bunch of food, like make a bunch of like potion type items and then use those before every single battle just so I'm fully maxed out HP wise all the time. But I don't like doing that. Like I want to like run through an area and get stronger, utilize my skills, my strategies to defeat all of my enemies. But it feels like all these enemies are getting stronger at a rate that I am not. And it feels like, oh, those Mario RPG games are too easy and people don't like how easy they are. So let's like make enemies harder. And I don't think that making the enemies harder makes it more fun. I think it's just kind of annoying and tedious. And like I die and I get my HP refilled because I died, and it's got a fairly generous autosave, but not all the time. It's like kind of finicky about where you'll respawn. Like you have to keep an eye on the corners. Like, oh, have I seen that book recently? Because if I haven't, I gotta actually go for real save. Otherwise, if I die in this next battle against these 3 crappy goblins that I shouldn't have any trouble with, but because they all decided to have this attack that is unblockable, it deals 20 damage to all my characters and they have 60 health. Like I'm just fucked. So I don't know. It's like, it's not frustrating. It's not bad, but they have all these choices that they're making that it's not 89 material, like for fucking real. It's just a good game. And I think of all the negatives because of how highly it was spoken of. It kind of it tarnishes what I think of the game before I go into it. Like I'm like, oh, I'm expecting a fantastic experience. Something that scored like review scale wise better than Paper Mario, the 1,000-Year Door that came out this year. And that is not the experience that I'm having. I'm just like having an okay to good time.
As it turns out, turn-based JRPGs are kind of mid. There's a reason they peaked on the Super Nintendo 30 years ago. I don't know. I've never been a huge turn-based JRPG guy, and everyone that I've tried to play it, from Chrono Trigger to Secret of Mana to, take your fucking pick, I've just been like, eh. Like the best one has been like Earthbound, which was fine. And that was only because like I appreciated how weird it was. It was just different than what all the other JRPGs are doing. So like people are yearning. They're thirsty for another classic turn-based JRPG, and this was supposed to be all, inspired by and returning composer and yada, yada, yada. And it's like, it looks really nice, but it's just another fucking turn-based JRPG, which it's pretty limited, all things considered.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even, like, I don't know, it looks good, but I wouldn't say that it looks really, really nice. Like, the character portraits are all pretty subpar, honestly. Like, the overworld and, like, moving around stuff is nice. There's some, like, oh, yeah, yes, Unity lighting effects are good. Yeah, we get it. But beyond that, it's not like, I'm not blown away by the visuals of this game. It just looks good, And it's easy to put out a game that is better than how it looks. And this game is not better than how it looks. It is a little bit worse than how it looks, maybe. Like, it looks like an 8, but plays like a 7. And the writing is like a 5 or a 6. Like, it is just like very base level kind of. None of these characters really have character. They have like maybe a shtick, and then it's very flat. A lot of my screenshots that I have of this game is of like grammatically incorrect sentences that I'm just like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, you're missing commas everywhere. This is just a bad sentence. Who wrote this? It's offensive to an extent. This got an 89. They can't even write a sentence.
With 129 reviews. Like, it's not just a one-off. Like, this is like a bona fide 89. That's crazy, right?
Yeah, so, like, I'm having a good time. We'll see if I finish it. I mean, we'll see, like, where I'm going, what's happening, if anything changes as far as mechanically and just, like, gameplay-wise. I feel like I might be able to eventually get, like, a 5th party member, and we'll see if that changes the dynamics, but I don't know. I think JRPGs are at their best when the combat is like, you can get into like a flow, like you sort of know like what your paths are, what lines you're taking, how you're going to get through these encounters, and then eventually you get to the point where you're strong enough that the menial encounters, you can just pound them out. Like, you can grind. I really like grinding in JRPGs, doing the repeated battles that are easy and going after rewards that way. One of my favorite experiences in a JRPG in like recent memory, and EJ, I know that you appreciate this as well, is Pokemon Let's Go. And like, shiny hunting in that game was fucking amazing. And it was just grinding. Like, literally, you're just running back and forth looking for that one little thing. It is mindless, but you have a specific goal in mind. You have a task that you're doing to accomplish that goal. And it feels like you're kind of like working with, but like working around the system as well. You're trying to exploit it and get the benefits as quickly or as easily as possible. And that's really fun in JRPGs, but it's also time consuming and to some people boring. But that's what a JRPG is. Like, if you're trying to make a JRPG not boring by removing the grind, by removing the enemies that continuously respawn or the easy enemies, then you're removing a lot of the fun for me. And it just turns this, like, JRPGs historically are fairly linear as far as like where you go place to place, but you can go back and fight easier things to like get secret rewards or do whatever you want. So it becomes a non-linear kind of experience. But this is built as if you are just going place to place, like it is hand holding you. It is sometimes cutting you off from going back to a place you were previously. Or even if you do go back, you haven't gotten that much stronger, so that when you do, you're still having as hard of a time fighting these enemies that you were struggling with like 5 levels ago. It's like, what was the fucking point? How many levels are in this game? How much stronger am I supposed to be until I'm just one-shotting fools? Because I'm not one-shotting anything still. It's crazy. 15 hours in, 14 hours in. It's just really strange the way that they've balanced this game. It's like, it's a shame to try and be a JRPG, even though they wanted to make a Chrono Trigger like, but there's not really much of that either. It doesn't really matter where you are positionally, which is like that was like the shtick in Chrono Trigger, if I remember correctly. Is like, depending on where you were on the battlefield, you could do combo moves with your party members, and like, depending on how that lined up, you would hit different enemies. But that's not the case. You just have like a normal ass, oh, you filled a meter, so you have your special moves, and then if you do your special moves enough, you get a super special move. It's like basic, menu managing shit.
Ugh.
So all that to say, like, I feel like I'm unloading a complaint fest, and maybe I just didn't think I was having that much of a complainy kind of time with it. Like, I've just been, playing it pretty, not like nonstop, but like I've played it pretty consistently over the past week. Only started it like a week and a half ago. But yeah, I just see like so many opportunities that it like totally fumbled the ball on. And that's like disappointing. I never played The Messenger. I haven't played the previous game. But apparently it ties into this a little bit somehow. But like, I don't give a shit because the story is not very interesting or engaging. So like, what's the point of creating a not sequel interesting thing if it's not actually interesting? Like, I like sequels. I like when stories continue, especially when they branch off and it's not following the same characters. I think that's a really interesting thing that stories can do, is like, oh, this is a sequel, but we're not following the main character. We're following this other fucko from chapter 4 that you maybe forgot about, but some people is their fan favorite.
I love that
Wild
too.
tangent.
You mentioned this once, and I wonder how much of an impact it's having. That if you did not go into this with the knowledge of critical acclaim, like how much of that is coloring that? I think we all do it, right? Where it's like, oh, this is like universally lauded. Certainly in my own like fairly contrarian impulses, sometimes I'll go in and go, really? Just right off the rip. And it could kind of seep into stuff. So I wonder how much, I wonder how present that would be. Some of that stuff would be if there wasn't an expectation this was going to be like a hood classic.
I don't know how much of that really colored my expectations as far as how I'm now currently feeling about it, but it does impact how I'm talking about it, because I'm thinking like, wait, y'all think this is like, this got 9s and 10s. I do not see how someone plays this game and thinks that it's a 9 or a 10. Like, I just don't see it. It is baffling to me. Like, this is 8 on a good day. But like that's like I said, it's impacting how I talk about it. Like, there's plenty of games that I love that are lower review scores, and like that didn't make me not excited to try it out because it's from a franchise that I really like or a developer I really like, and I want to try it out because I want to play it.
Like Record of Lodass, D-Lit and Wonder Labyrinth.
Yeah, that was a really solid game. That was a great game. You know, like stuff like that, stuff like, or like the Ys Origin sort of spin-off PC remake game from like the early 2000s that came out on consoles a few years back and was just like a really chill, nice time. Nice. I don't know. I mean, it's just, I don't think it's a problem with the genre. I just think this is like the JRPG for people that don't like JRPGs to a certain extent.
I thought that was Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door.
That's like your first JRPG. And I think the things that it accomplishes and does well is letting you have the possibility space to express yourself and to create a way to play that is rewarding for you. And there's no different way to play this game. Like, I cannot change the way there's no loadout. There's nothing like that. It's just equipment that makes your stats bigger. And then there's just not a lot of feedback as far as the changes that you do make. There's no like, oh, wow, I'm suddenly doing so much more damage because I did this thing. Like, no, like you just do a little bit more damage every level and you get a new level after fighting and killing enough things. Like, it is just, there's no carrot at the end of the stick. There's just like, sometimes you die and then you get sent back to the beginning of the stage, like the area you're traversing. It does some interesting stuff in traversal, but then it also makes me think other games do this a lot better. Like, obviously, Chris, we were talking about Crosscode earlier because the developer revealed their new project more so. I mean, they had revealed it beforehand, but it was just a project name, and now it's got a real ass title and like a release date like looming. And Crosscode had awesome traversal and puzzle mechanics that it did between like the combat, like you're fighting stuff, doing action combat, but then it had like really interesting platforming areas that would, you know, play with the design of the world around you. And it wasn't just like you're walking through tunnels going from place to place. And this game does a lot of stuff like that where you're jumping around, but it's just you're pressing A at a ledge to do a jump to the next ledge. And it's like playing with you being active, but it's still not. And as you go around, you might like poke your head behind something and open a chest, but because nothing you find impacts the way you deal damage and proceed with your combat, the rewards are ultimately meaningless. Like, it doesn't matter if you find a cool thing if the main thing that you're doing in the game is fighting stuff. That is the main thing you're doing in a JRPG is you're fighting stuff to get stronger. And if the fighting stuff isn't fun or progressing, then everything else is meaningless. And that's kind of like where I'm falling with this game, is that everything feels kind of meaningless.
I don't know if I'd use Crosscode's traversal as like the gold standard. With Alabaster Dawn somewhere on the horizon in 2026, probably.
Bad title, but you know, better than Project Terra or whatever it was before.
I'm going to be so real. When you posted that, I was like, oh, before I realized that's what that was, that they changed the name, they'd given it a formal name. I was like, well, that looks like a Brandon Ass 73. And then went, oh shit, it's the Crosscode devs. And then I got excited. But I was like, Alabaster Dawn, woof.
It sounds like a video game from a Amazon TV show. That's a non-canon spaceship from Halo, from like one of the comic, like the graphic novel.
Chief, we've made contact with the Alabaster Dawn. Patch me through.
It's like, oh, Bungie didn't write this.
Alabaster Dawn is some fucking space gang of creepy wizards in Star Wars from like the old Timothy Zahn novels or something. The Alabaster Dawn.
It's either that or a porn star from the 70s.
Oh,
It's one of the chapters in Project 2025, the Alabaster Dawn.
oh fuck. The eventuality we're all headed for.
All that to say, I don't think this game is not worth your time, but I'm finding it a little bit subpar.
Well, this contrarian take is activating my contrarian in a powerful way, and now I'm like, oh, I have to play this game now. Either I'm going to get to be contrary about it getting an 89, or be contrary to your like rough 75.
No matter what, you win.
I know, it's literally a win-win. Like, I'm going to get the flood
It's like sex for you.
of dopamine that I can only get by disagreeing with someone. Thanks so much, Leave Jaden, for railroading me into speech and debate like 15 years ago. This is the cost.
And now we all pay it.
Yeah, you two mostly. Tiffany sometimes. I'm better with her though, because she butters my bread, if you know what I mean.
Nick, I'm sorry you're having a bad time with Sea of Stars.
Not a bad
A
time.
medium time. A fine time.
A medium time.
Not an 89 time.
Listen, we're in our 30s.
Not at 89.
Anytime you're having less than a stellar time, you're having a bad time.
Oh boy.
Maybe for you. I have plenty of mid times to keep me grounded.
Like Deedlit. Solid 78 on OpenCritic.
I think that's low.
Well,
This is just Nick's superiority complex shouting through. This 89 is bad and the 78 is good, and I know better.
I do know better. You are absolutely correct.
I would never hold it against you, bud. Do I have to dig up the Kiss is my favorite band takes again?
No, we already spent hours and hours talking about our top 100, EJ. We know what your taste is like.
Wow.
I mean, it's no Plock taste, but
Beautiful transition. I spent like an hour with Sam Palmquist last week. I was down at my grandma's the day after the wedding, and we were in between dinner dates with different parents. And I said, if you come down to Hawthorne right now to Game Exchange, we can go spend some money. Because Sam, listen, the record collecting bug got him, and now the video game collecting bug has got him. He dug out the N64. He ordered all the EverDrives. Him and Trevor are going hard in the paint on the CRTs. You really love to see it. So anyway, he came down to the Game Exchange and was trying to get him to spend money on things. And I was trying to find a copy of Plock. That was the first thing I was looking for, because I said, what are you into? And he says, I like my platformers. And I said, oh boy, do I got the platformer for you, bud. And sadly, we could not find a copy of Plock. I did get him to buy a copy of Secret of Mana. And so this is one of Brandon's favorites. I played it with him. And then he bought it for like $60. And then we left and I said, I fucking hate that game, but you might like it. And he's like, what are you doing to me? And then he texted me that night and was like, I think I have to start collecting video game soundtracks. This is a really good soundtrack.
oh
And I said,
no.
yes. Be sick with me. Be sick with me. But anyway, Hawthorne Game Exchange, formerly a CD Game Exchange, which no longer exists, really good stock, really bad prices. Which makes sense. You get the good stuff in, you don't let it out the door, you know?
Gotta get yours.
I almost bought, dude, I was so close. The cleanest boxed PlayStation 1, the version where they first released the DualShock, which is the one that I got of Christmas of 99. Oh, it was only $150, but I was like, man, I'm running out of space, guys.
House too small, need bigger house. I've been playing something.
What you been playing, Chris?
I wanted to really go to something different and scratch a different itch. 2 years ago, I had like $25 on the eShop, and I can't remember what I bought that was my big ticket digital purchase, but then I ended up with like $7. I was like, I'm going to go buy a bunch of like 99-cent or like $2 games and just take some literally random fucking shots in the dark and see if any of them are interesting. Most of them were, pretty mediocre. But I started one 2 summers ago called Infini that is a puzzler. And I ended up stopping because I could not figure out how to beat a certain puzzle. And there were just no fucking walkthroughs available for this game anywhere on the internet. So I wanted to give that another shot and have gone back to that. And I'm now past the point where I got stuck last time. In no small part because there is now exactly one video walkthrough of this game on YouTube. That came out, like, I think literally weeks after I dropped this. It was like, I can't figure this out. Like July 8th, 2023. No, that was a whole year because it was 2022. It was the second summer that I started playing it. Yeah, so I was like, oh, fuck, I could like maybe actually beat this game now. It's a really fucking weird game. French-Canadian developer. It is aesthetically is basically like a Salad Fingers episode. And the art is just like odd and distressing and surreal and at times like psychedelic and at times like really scary apocalyptic, like going from good trip to bad trip. The soundtrack is nuts. It is just one of the weirdest vibey scores I've ever experienced, and the puzzling mechanics are super fucking interesting. They start you off pretty straightforward that your character is dropping, and the sides of the screen are connected. So crossing down the bottom of the screen, assuming there's no impediment at the top, will drop you out the top of the screen at the corresponding spot at the top of the screen. Crossing the screen right and left will do the same thing on the right-left plane. And you start by being able to slow yourself down or to speed up your drop. And then over time, they add other things like being able to move vertically by flapping wings. They give you the ability to change the direction that gravity is flowing so that you can go from dropping to moving to the side to moving vertically to moving whichever direction. And it gives you eventually the big one that is the most interesting to me is that eventually you gain control over being able to reduce and enlarge the view window in the level in order to manipulate the way you can move through the level. So if you're stuck in a chute and you can see there's free space over here on the side, you can zoom in the screen to cut off the barrier on the right side so that you can pass through it on the right side of the screen to come out on the left side of the screen in the open space. So it becomes this game of how can I like zoom in and zoom out really selectively to manipulate the field of play in order to make pathways that didn't previously exist. It's fucking crazy. Like I've never played a puzzler that plays with space and direction to this degree.
This is nightmare fuel.
Are you looking at
This is
some
horrifying.
screenshots? Dude,
I'm watching a video right now.
It's crazy. It's such a fucking weird ass game, and it's got this very trippy kind of narrative. I mean, the plot not exactly, keeping me going here, but your character, they're all the characters are personified ideas. So you're playing as the personification of hope that is trying to navigate through a traumatic event that we don't understand at the outset of the game, and you interact with the embodiment of peace, who's this like naked bacchanalian hippie in the woods who gives you drug tea, and one whole set of levels is like your trip. And he's like, I don't think you're ready for this because you're not like good. You got to be good internally before you can trip, which like super fucking accurate. Poetry is this little like fox. Memory is an elephant. Technology is just like weird amalgam of like levers and like a water wheel and like cables and shit like that. And they all make really weird sounds when they talk, which we know EJ loves babble talk. Yeah, I think war is literally like a set of military fatigues with an assault rifle for a head, and the way it talks is just like all bullet noises.
Okay, that's tight.
It's such a weird fucking game, but Hope's trying to process this. He's trapped within infinity, hence the name, and is trying to get back to reality. But infinity is infinity, and so he's been stuck for like millions of days trying to like navigate the recesses of infinity to find a way out, but really probably to heal himself. I don't know yet. I'm not done with the game. There's also some little optional collectibles that unlock letters that allow you in a certain location to like translate different ciphers that have to do with the lore of the game. And I'm still kind of gathering the last of those. It also unlocks bonus levels for previous sections that you've played already. It's just a weird fucking game. That was the best buy that came out of that little shopping spree. And I really want to finish it and I really want to write about it because it doesn't have a lot of... It's not a game that's like out there in the ether, as it's low budget French Canadian indie game that's psychedelic and weird and upsetting. And sometimes Tiffany's like, this is amazing. And sometimes she's like, this is horrible. And I'm like, I totally agree. And I'm here for it regardless. So I've got like 2 worlds left, 2 or 3 worlds, quote unquote. And then I'll probably do like clean up on any of the cipher letters that I miss and do the bonus levels and stuff like that. It's cool. It's really, really cool. And you'll both probably hate it. So I don't know if I can recommend even at like a $1 or $2 purchase. But I'm having a great time. And sometimes very frustrating time, but then very satisfying when I break that frustration and figure out the solution and go like, oh, like the moments of a puzzler that are so rewarding. This game has huge, huge moments of like, oh my God, I did it. Like, this looked impossible, and I figured out how to conquer this.
I like perspective games. I think video games are uniquely qualified to be a medium in which perspective games can actually become real. So, always a big fan of that. I'll probably give this a check out. I haven't looked at any video of it. It sounds upsetting. It sounds like something I'm going to immediately look at and be like, this is ugly as hell. Let's play.
Oh, yeah.
So, sure. I've spent a lot more money on much worse things, so why not?
Well, great. This is one of those that, if, as Brad the Lad likes to say, we look at the words of the people on Metacritic and not the words of the critics on Metacritic. This has a much higher user score than critical review score. People who played this game kind of fuck with this game. And I am one of those people. And I don't know what score I'll give this game. I got to finish it first. But I'm really excited.
Way better than The Last of Us or whatever came out that week.
Absolutely. Fuck it, right? But I'm looking forward to spending more time with it after I'm done with it, he said vaguely.
I hear we have some critical hits. Is this accurate? Oh, Chris is doing something crazy.
You heard wrong. You heard wrong. We are not going to be playing critical hits. We are going to be playing my favorite console Crusade game because it's the only one I've ever fucking won. How right, how wrong, how long?
Yeah, I forget.
I have 5 titles.
Uh-oh.
And we'll just alternate Nick, EJ, Nick, who gets to offer their guess first. You are going to give me the time that you think it takes to beat the main game for each of these titles, according to how long to beat. And I already have the how long to beat times entered in here. So I will need no Googling. I will need none of that business. There is also a theme that unites all 5 of these games. I will give each of you an opportunity to, well, I guess you probably have to like either write it down. I will give you an opportunity at the end of the game to text me what you think the theme is. Because if you both get it right, I want you both to get 2 hours taken off your total time. Because remember, this is golf rules. You want to have the smallest time possible, meaning you were the closest, you were the most right, and the least wrong about how long these games are. So that's what we're doing. I really liked curating this. I'm excited we're doing a game show segment. It's been a minute. EJ, you had a week. I'm going to let you go first in the first round. The first title, How Long to Beat the Main Game of Broforce.
Oh, interesting. I have played Broforce multiplayer. This could be
game.
one of those ones that's like 90 minutes or like 200 hours. Let's go 7.5 hours.
7.5 hours.
Bring a Dewey Decimal into the play.
Damn it, Dewey!
Dewey!
Thank you, Dewey. Thank you. I was like, somebody's gotta laugh at that. Please laugh. Oh, 1 second.
I'll do it for you, Jeb.
Fucking phone. All right. 7.5 hours entered. Nick, your guess for the main game of Broforce.
3. I'm guessing 3. I'm going the low. I feel like, yes, EJ, that is either a 90-minute game or an hour and 90-minute game or a 2-hour and 90-minute game. I think that's pretty short. I've only ever played it multiplayer as well, and I don't remember playing like a campaign. I don't know though. It's been a while.
Okay, hang on. Something fucky's going on
Something fucky's afoot.
with my spreadsheet.
On mobile. Tisk tisk.
There we go.
Oh yeah, dude. I so wish there was a good way to do spreadsheets on mobile.
I know. I built all my formulas already, so that's not a problem. I just have to punctuate it correctly, or it'll, instead of doing time, it will do like time of day, and then it'll get all fucked up. Anyway, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
The actual How Long to Beat main game of Broforce, 7 hours.
Oh!
Damn.
Tease Louise.
My boy EJ.
So Nick coming in with the 3.
The 4. 4 points on that.
Yeah.
At the beginning.
Yep, you spotted EJ a 3.5 hour lead right out of the gate. Nick, first to guess in the second round. River City Girls. How Long to Beat the main game of River City Girls?
River City Girls, the first game, way forward, doing their beat 'em up thing. Beat 'em ups aren't long. Beat 'em ups are best when replayed, but River City Ransom is notable for being a beat 'em up with like RPG mechanics and being more about the progression, more about the continued playing of one game. So I'm thinking it's probably a little bit longer than your standard sort of fare. Not as long, not as beefy as something like Castle Crashers, which is like a damn long game compared to other games in that genre. Woof. I don't think this is one you crank out in a single night. I think this is like either a long weekend or like a week game. I'm going to go 10.5 hours. I got to throw the half out there. It served EJ well, but if he didn't do the half, he would have got that sinking 0.
Oh yeah, what a no scope.
10.5 for Nick.
10.5 hours entered for Nick. EJ, service to you.
So my gut reaction when you said this was 14. However, explain to me again exactly how the scoring works. Just humor me here.
Sure. The scoring works. You will receive, the number of hours off you are in either direction is your score for that round. So, for example, you came in at 30 minutes greater, which means it's a score of 30. Nick came in 4 hours too short. It's a score of 4 hours.
Okay, so Nick said 10.5. I'm going to go 11.
11 hours. It is locked in. Actual How Long to Beat main game, River City Girls. Also 7 hours.
Oh, wow.
You have both overestimated by not an insurmountable degree by any stretch of the imagination, but 3.5 over for Nick, 4 over for EJ.
Okay, so I really overshot my initial gut reaction saying 14 hours. 7 hours, okay.
14 would have been, I'm not going to say catastrophic, but would have been very hard to come back from if you'd have swung that high. The actual time was 7 hours.
You probably should not have revealed the numbers immediately after each round because EJ's just going to Price is Right me for the rest of the game.
This is why I clarified. But I go first next time, so, you know.
That's true. You could Price is Right him if you so choose.
That's true.
Or you could follow the plums.
I can't do that from behind.
That's true. You got to swing.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Well, you can be better. Well, I'll just go ahead and
If only
say
I could.
you're both gonna not probably. Okay. Game 3. How Long to Beat? That was one of the sentences of all time.
Boy, was it.
I can't wait to listen back to that and go, I think I just had a mini stroke. EJ, you're first to guess. The third game is Beat Saber. How Long to Beat the main game of Beat Saber?
There's a main game?
According to How Long to Beat, there is in fact a main game.
Fuck. 9 hours. Ugh!
Okay.
I think I already know what the theme is.
Nick.
3 hours.
Uh-oh.
That's the gambit. I got to play it. Come on.
This is so funny to me. I've already revealed the time, so we're there. We're in it. We're in for a penny. We're in for a pound. The actual time is 6 hours, which means you both missed it equidistantly from either direction.
Wow. Okay.
But you were both in the ballpark. I would not have known what to do with that question if I were guessing. Fourth game. First guess to Nick. Super Punch-Out.
Super Punch-Out.
Main game. Super Punch-Out.
Also not a long game. Very easy to beat in a single session. Say, just like normies though. 2 hours.
2 hours. EJ, Super Punch-Out.
Yeah, man. I think Nick nailed it. Ah, damn. I'm going to go 1.5. I think it's closer to an hour. I've watched Dan Reichert play the shit out of this game, but he's also a psycho and is like speedrunning, quote unquote.
Yeah, I mean, how long to beat for like Super Mario Bros. Isn't 10 minutes or whatever the speedrun time is, so I don't know about that.
The actual time is 3 hours.
Yes, give me that half hour. Give me that half hour,
Nick
please.
inches closer.
Fuck. Fucking normies. You were right, Nick.
I'm realizing that I also did an odd number of categories, which, oops. So I am.
I need this. I need the EJ to go first every time. I need that advantage.
Is that what you
comeback
want?
mechanic.
That's totally fine.
Yes.
I'm good with that.
Whoa. What are we changing rules for?
I'm not
We're
changing
snaking
anything.
back to you. This is the last
we're
one. You
giving
get
it back
the
to you.
snake back.
Yeah, you get the 5th out of 5. Look, I felt like that will be a disadvantage to Nick, and Nick's like, no, don't change it. So I'm like, okay, that's fine.
No, second guess has the advantage because you can one up one below.
The 5th game. Guess to EJ, how long to beat the main game of Sonic and the Secret Rings?
Sonic and Secret. Is this the first game? Which game is this?
It is Sonic and the Secret Rings.
Chronologically, which one is this?
I could not fucking tell you. It's like
what platform? Is this a Genesis game?
Wii. No, I was like, I think that's a Wii. I think that's a Wii game. Yeah, it's in that era.
Oh. So here's where I think I've already guessed the theme, which is going to impact the number I guess here.
You want to metagame it a little bit? That's totally fine.
It could really fuck me too. 9 hours.
Nick.
It's a really good guess. That's a really good guess. Oh boy. How far off am I from EJ? Did I crawl back to like 2.5 away from him or something?
You could.
Like I literally have to go 2.5 up or down just to compete.
Let me see.
If I'm not much mistaken.
Yeah, that's about yeah. Get this and get the theme, and you'd be right there.
To do both. It's not summer vacation.
No, I did that. I did that one. I did that one already. No. Don't. Yeah, don't
I know,
guess the
that's
theme
the
yet.
joke. We'll go 6.5. I think I have to go shorter. I think it is folly to go longer on a Sonic game. They're notoriously short.
Actual time.
The Wii era. I mean, fuck.
Main game. Sonic and the Secret
I'm already
Rings.
locked in. We're doing 6.5.
Okay. 6.5.
Yeah, I'm locked in.
Actual retail time.
Don't feel good about it.
8 hours. I'm gonna open a 2-minute window. 2.5, let's say, for y'all to text me what you think the theme is. This is funny.
This is great radio.
I'm gonna read these in as they come out, because they're wrong so far. Games under 10 games you could beat in a day. No, that is not the theme. Now it's radio, because I'm saying words. You know what? I did this so badly. We haven't done a game show segment in a minute. Let me read you the fucking games again. The games were Broforce, River City Girls, Beat Saber, Super Punch-Out, and Sonic and the Secret Rings. Those were your 5 titles. Broforce, River City Girls, Beat Saber, Super Punch-Out, Sonic and the Secret Rings. Now I will start a 2-minute and 30-second timer.
I find it interesting that they're all coincidentally under 10 hours. That's not related to the theme.
I picked the
Seems
titles
sus.
before I looked for the times.
Interesting. Beat, punch. I'm not going to
Secret.
guess this. Bros. Uh-oh. What is this theme, Chris? I'm suspect now.
Yeah, nothing for me. The closest I could come to some sort of semblance of a theme was like impact sound effects. But the closest I could get with Sonic was ringing a bell. But that's a bit of a stretch.
I'm gonna give you in your last minute here. I'm gonna give you the operative word from all 5 of these. Well, okay, Broforce is one word, so I guess that is what that is. Broforce,
Force, the half of that word.
Broforce, river, saber, punch, rings. Broforce, river, saber, punch, rings.
I don't know. It's just like some fucking Middle Earth shit, dude. Get the bros together, dude. The council, bro. Draw our sabers as we transport the rings along the river.
Like layoffs in the game industry.
Oh.
Actually, I don't think Sabres had any layoffs, but
That's fun.
Space Marine 2.
85? Get me 4th place?
Oh, sorry, bud. Sorry.
No, that'll be like an 82. It'll be fine. Hopefully. Any
79.
guesses? Any guesses?
I have no guesses, man.
Do not
No,
manifest.
yeah, I'm
them.
out. Hard out. You're too smart for your own damn good.
I do this
Clever
every
bitch.
time. There's never been. Well, no, that's not true. Summer Vacation was a good. Y'all, some people got the theme.
That was
time.
a good one. That was a really good one. That was very doable.
The theme is the Olympics. Swimming in the River
Oh.
Seine, saber, the Olympic fencing event, punch, Olympic boxing, and the secret rings. I thought was going to be a dead giveaway for the Olympic rings.
Rings is a good one. Saber, you don't fence with a saber, so that's a bit of a red herring there.
Isn't saber an Olympic event?
Bro, I don't fucking know. They had breakdancing to the Olympics. They are so desperate for viewers. They keep adding the most inane and stupid things.
I watched ping pong last
Olympic
night.
saber fencing, one of the 12 Olympic fencing events.
12
I know.
fencing events.
I know. I didn't know that. I didn't know that until now. Yeah, so the theme was the Olympics.
You could have done like pole position. It'd been easy
How
for
long
us,
to beat?
please.
20 minutes. Pole
Is it
position would have been a
joust?
good one. Yes, the Olympic sport jousting.
Honestly,
they should.
jousting would be way fucking cooler than anything at the Olympics.
Representing
dude.
R.I.P.
Gelderland.
Gelderland.
Representing.
Let me
Listen.
tabulate.
A Knight's Tale might be the first 5 I put on my letterbox, okay? Not because I think it is the best movie I've watched this year, but because it is the one I love the most. And every time I think about that movie, I just think to myself, how fucking good do we have it? Mark Addy, okay, who's a fucking gem of a man before all his
Alan
success.
Tudyk before he was like way overrated.
Alan Tudyk was the man for a couple years there. This is way before he was relevant. Heath Ledger before he blew up and then died. Underrated. Rufus Sewell.
Totally underrated.
It's a great fucking movie.
underutilized.
True.
Sewell. I don't know how to say his name. Sewell.
I don't know either.
And of course, what's his fucking face? He plays Chaucer, who's named.
They got
Paul
vision.
I'm having a
Paul
stroke.
Bettany.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those casts that makes you think like, wow, we didn't know how good we had it. I don't know. We've talked about this so many times, dude. The way it was received, and Chris just fucking demoned out right there. What the fuck?
I was gesturing because he was gone for a long time there.
Damn.
That was all catch up.
Yeah. And now he's frozen again.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, the anachronistic take on medieval sports was so panned. And every time I watch that movie as a grown man, I'm like, dude, this holds up. This is such a fun fucking movie.
There's a tournament arc. Come on.
It's fucking great.
Ahead
And the emotion
of its
oh my
time.
God.
You'll
Ahead
laugh,
of its
you'll
time.
cry, you'll cheer.
This came in also with that hard rock, contemporary soundtrack that's woven into the way that they're doing the storytelling, and creating something that anachronistic. It's out of time, it's out of place, but also the music was such a part of the story. It wasn't just that we were using rock tunes; they all had such clear places in the narrative that this predates fucking Moulin Rouge. It predates Across the Universe. It predates all of these jukebox films, and does it in a way that I still haven't seen done similarly. That we're not singing those songs except for We Will Rock You, which is such a tight fucking intro to that movie. God, we got to watch A Knight's Tale next trip.
Dude, I fucking love that movie, man.
Love that movie. So here are your final scores. It was respectably close. With a score of 13 hours off of the base time is Nick. Well done, Nick. And coming in first,
Single
with
digits.
a score of 10 hours off the base time.
Fuck! What's happening? Perfectly timed.
I thought you did that
Whose
on
birthday is
purpose.
it?
What happened? How did I do that?
I thought you hands up. Is that what you? I don't have that feature turned on.
What?
I don't know how to do
It
it.
was like each
Okay, explain to the audio
For
listeners what
at home,
happened.
I put two peace signs in the air as I screamed single digit just to be let down. But the moment I found out I was the winner, balloons went all over my screen, and I don't know how it happened. I don't know how to recreate it because peace signs aren't doing it. Pointing straight up isn't doing it. Waving? Do I wave? Yay! Raise the roof? Do I flip the camera off? I have no fucking clue what caused that to happen.
God, that's funny.
As of 10 months ago on Reddit, if you do 2 peace signs with both hands, you will get part popper. If you do 2 thumbs up, you get fireworks. Thumbs up, 1 peace sign, balloons, and heart with both hands.
Oh! I love you guys.
Mine's not working.
It don't work for Chris, but it works for EJ. Boing. Double peace signs.
Bourgeoisie over here.
I am not a crook. Oh, we got confetti this time.
Yeah,
Balloons again.
it's bullshit. It's all made up.
Wow, that's amazing. Well,
So stupid.
thank you for playing.
Totally derailed.
I love that.
Thank you, Chris. Sorry we didn't get your very topical theme as always.
No, you're fine. I'm bad at this game, and I wrote it in like 30 minutes. I definitely fucked the dog on disclosing the base time after 1 round. I will not be doing that again. Fully diddled the dude.
Diddle the diddle, pork the pooch. That was good. That got me good yesterday, Nick.
I thought you'd appreciate the fully porked.
Fuck.
Anyway, I fucked up. So I will not be doing that again in the future.
As soon as EJ asked for clarification, I'm like, damn it, he knows.
He knows.
Yeah,
I just wanted to
screwed up.
triple check.
There's
Game
nothing
the
to like.
system.
Well, I guess there is nothing to keep you from like keeping your own running total. But if I don't tell you what the actual time is until the end, then I guess that would fully preclude it. I think this is only the second time we played this game, also. So
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
anyway,
We wouldn't be able to keep our own running total unless we were cross-referencing with howlongtobeat.com, which would be cheating. So
Which I am above
And we
in most
don't
aspects of my life.
cheat on console Crusade mini games.
minigames are sacred. My diet, not so much. Look at me. Look at me.
Well, I think that's our show.
Scott's Crusade, guys. That's who we are. That's what we do.